to the Healing Waters broadcast. I am your host, Marie Kennedy Groves, and we are here to talk about real life, real challenges, and some tips and tricks how to navigate those waters. So I am so glad that you have joined me wherever you are at in the world. I always like to give a disclaimer that we are raw, real, and relevant on the Healing Waters broadcast. I am a life coach. I am a mom of 2 amazing kids. I'm a glam mom to an amazing 5-year-old grandson. I live life on purpose. I have purpose on my back. I live with intention. I believe that words are powerful. And I am very, very careful with the words that I let proceed out of my mouth. So when I say I live with intention, that's what I mean. I am a creator of amazing life experiences. And I do all of this powered by God. And if you have been a part of this series to this point on relationships, then congratulations. I am so glad you came along with me for the ride. If you have not been a part of the relationship series, please go back and grab the ones that you've missed. I think this is maybe the 7th episode talking about relationships. And I always like to say, I don't consider myself the expert per se on relationships. What I can tell you is I am documented to talk on this subject because, number one, my many, many life experiences around relationships. I have been married 2 times. I have been a single mom for over 10 years in the dating arena. And about 4 years ago, I did not like the results I was getting from my experiences in relationships. And I could sit there, I came to a crossroads where I could sit there and point back at all the things that they had done wrong or the issues that they had. Or I could get real honest with myself and say, Marie Kennedy Groves, the common denominator in all of these relationships is you. So what are you going to do differently moving forward to change your results? So I did a deep dive into relationships. I was listening to podcasts. I was listening to everything I could get my hands on. And I came in contact with a life coach that centered her messages around relationships. And I just got very connected with her. Like, I could hear her. I could relate to what she was saying. I felt like she was talking to me. And I just was like, you know what? This advice resonates with my soul. And so I have received her coaching for the past 4 years. And as I continue to listen to her and do the work. I was in a relationship, a dating relationship, that he wasn't a bad guy. He was a great guy. He just wasn't my guy. And we were just not aligned on things that were really important to me. And when I had conversation around those things, unfortunately, he just could not hear me. And that's okay. And I ended that relationship. So, but the only reason I was able to end that relationship is because I was getting stronger. I was getting more healed. I was defining what I needed for me. And I was no longer willing to settle. I was not going to settle anymore. And I was fine with being single the rest of my life if I could not find the right person to complement what I had going on. So my confidence level rose through my healing journey and through learning to love myself. And she taught me a lot about how to vet men. Nobody had ever taught me that before, ever. So the series I have called What I Wished Someone Had Taught Me About Dating before I ever began to date. I wish so much. So I'm hoping and praying that if you are single again, maybe you're that single mom that is like, how in the world do I navigate these waters nowadays? That this series is going to help you. That this series is going to give you hope. This series is going to give you tools in trying to find your person and finding the person that you can do life with, and not just do life, but thrive together. That is my prayer for this series for you. So go back and listen. We talked about how to love yourself first and foremost, how to vet men. We talked about how to walk away faster from BS. And now today, we are going to talk about how to have those hard conversations. So we are going to take a short commercial break, and we will be right back.
The best things in life are the people we love, the places we've been, and the memories we've made along the way. Don't let your pelvic health get in the way of your life. The Pelvic Floor Store, your resource for personal health.
We are back. Thank you for hanging in here with me to talk about how to have those hard conversations in relationships. So, while this is about a dating relationship, this can also be for relationships that you have with girlfriends or work associates. I mean, you can apply this at different areas in your life for sure, but today we're really focusing in on the dating aspect. So what I would really encourage you on is this. when you jump into a dating relationship, or even if maybe you're just, the casually dating, maybe you haven't even gone so far as it's not really a committed relationship. You're just going out and meeting people. But if you are feeling, sorry, Chip, no, I'm having real life here right now. Sorry, I have my dog in the studio with me today, and he hears something that he is thinking that he needs to protect. So, apologize, but we are moving on. So anyway, if you feel like the guy that you are talking to has potential, and you see that, maybe you would like to pursue a committed relationship with him, but maybe there's just some questions, some things that you're like, what, I wonder how he feels about these things. I really need to know this, before I move into too many more dates. I challenge you to have those hard conversations. Because why waste your time if you are not on the same page? If you are not on the same page, exit stage left without production, it's okay. You need to know. Let's talk about, they've passed the vetting process. They have asked you to be their girlfriend, and you guys have talked about, okay, we're going to exclusively date one another. We're going to be in a committed relationship because we see this going somewhere. And something comes up in your relationship that it could be something they said that hurt your feelings. It could be something they did that you're just kind of like, ooh, you know what? I'm really not okay with that. Have the hard conversation and let it go where it will go. Again, do not make the hard conversation this big emotional production. What I can tell you is that I've been in a relationship now for just a little over a year. And we have had some hard conversations where we were both in tears, sobbing our way through the conversation. But you know what I'm so proud of us for? Is that we did it. Like we didn't not have the conversation. We didn't shove it under the rug. I've told my boyfriend so many times, I'm not looking for a perfect man. I'm looking for a man who is willing to be constantly, consistently progressing to be a better man. Because that's what I'm going to give you as a girlfriend, as someone that you're doing life with. I'm going to be constantly progressing And I want you to call me out on things, even if it's a hard conversation. Let's love each other enough to talk through it, whatever that looks like. Have the hard conversations. I will tell you, throughout my relationship experience, I've experienced the relationship where every time I addressed a concern or an issue, it was always flipped back around that, well, if you hadn't done blah, 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 if you had been blah, 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 then I wouldn't have done that. So never taken responsibility for anything. And it was always my fault for their actions. I've also been in the relationship where when I addressed issues, challenges, I was consistently met with, Marie, if you're going to make an issue out of this, I will leave. I will leave right now. And then I've been a part of the relationship where when I brought up issues, challenges, if I was face to face with that person, it was like I got stared at like I had 5 heads with no reaction, no words, just stared at me. If we were on the phone, complete silence. I might as well gone out and talked to a rock. They refused to interact anytime there was an issue. And I would be met with, Marie, don't do this. Why are you out on a limb? A limb? Because something bothers me, I'm out on a limb. So I'm telling you, I tell you these scenarios because I know I'm not the only one that has been in relationships like that. It is so refreshing to be in a relationship where we have the hard conversations. Neither one of us run from those. We're like, okay, we need to talk about some stuff. And we'll cry our way through it. We will. But you know what is so beautiful? Is every hard conversation that we've had, we've come out stronger on the other side of it for having it. And so when I tell you that one of our non-negotiables with me and my boyfriend, if something bothers us, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk through it. We're going to. I challenge you to have those hard conversations. And if they are not willing to have those hard conversations, refer to last week's video, how to walk away faster from BS. They're not willing to have those conversations. This is not the person for you. Walk away. I promise you this is going to be the most miserable relationship if you cannot have hard conversations, because life is hard. If you can't talk about how you feel, if you can't talk about something that bothers you, if you can't talk about those kind of issues, That's not a relationship. Now, once again, you're in a situationship. We are out of time. So I hope you picked up a nugget today that you will commit to having the hard conversations. And if your partner will not have those with you, seek counseling. If you're trying to make that relationship work. If you don't care about that relationship working, then walk away. But if you really are trying to make that relationship work and he is willing to go to counseling to try to learn how to communicate through that, then go to counseling. I have offered counsel. I have begged my partners to go to counseling with me. My current boyfriend is the first one ever to tell me that not only would he go to counseling when he's in a ditch and he needs help getting through stuff for himself, but in our relationship, if we ever hit a ditch point where we can't figure out how to work through it, he has committed to me that he will be open to counseling. And that's all I ask. Ladies and gentlemen, make it a wonderful day wherever you're at in the world. And we will see you on the next Healing Waters episode. Click the subscribe button if you have not, so that you never miss an episode. Talk to you soon. Bye.